Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this. Have you ever shared something deeply personal, only to regret it later? Imagine if, in 2025, you could protect your peace, your dreams, and your future simply by knowing what not to share. Today, I'm going to share 7 things you should keep to yourself if you want to stay ahead in life and remain focused on your goals. Are you ready to transform your mindset? Let's dive in. Your dreams are powerful, but they are also vulnerable. Sharing your goals prematurely can expose them to negativity and doubt from others. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Protect your vision until it's strong enough to withstand outside opinions. Your long-term goals are like seeds planted in a garden. You wouldn't dig up a seedling just to show someone it's growing, would you? That's exactly what happens when you share your goals too early. The world is full of naysayers, doubters, and even well-meaning friends who might unintentionally undermine your confidence. They'll ask you, "Are you sure?" or say things like, "That sounds risky," and before you know it, their voices can become your own doubts. Silence is not weakness, it's a strategy. When you keep your goals to yourself, you give them a chance to take root. You allow yourself the space to nurture them without external interference. Think about it, the greatest movements, the most revolutionary ideas, they didn't start with loud announcements. They started in the quiet, in the solitude of someone's mind, fueled by determination and discipline. And here's the thing about sharing your goals, it creates an illusion of accomplishment. You tell someone your plans, and they pat you on the back, say how great it sounds, and suddenly you feel like you've already achieved something. But that's a dangerous trap. Talking about the work isn't the same as doing the work. In fact, studies show that sharing goals can sometimes reduce the motivation to achieve them because the act of sharing gives you a premature sense of satisfaction. Now, I'm not saying you should keep everything bottled up forever. There's a time and a place to share your vision, but that time is after you've laid the groundwork. Let me put it this way, if your goal is to build a skyscraper, don't talk about how tall it'll be before you've even poured the foundation. Focus on the foundation. Focus on the quiet, unseen work that no one claps for. That's where the real magic happens. You also have to be careful about who you share your dreams with. Not everyone is equipped to handle your vision. Some people will project their fears onto you, not because they want to hurt you, but because they can't see what you see. They're trapped by their own limitations, and they'll try to trap you too. Others might pretend to support you, but secretly hope you fail. Jealousy is real, and it often comes from the people closest to you. That's why discretion is key. Share your goals only with those who have earned your trust, who have proven they're in your corner, no matter what. And let's not forget about the energy it takes to explain yourself. Every time you share your goals, you're spending energy convincing others instead of using that energy to work on your plans. You're defending your dream instead of building it. Why waste your time trying to make someone else understand your vision when you could be taking steps to bring it to life? Think of your goals as a fire. In the beginning, it's just a spark, easily extinguished by a gust of wind. But as you nurture it, as you shield it from the elements, it grows into a flame, then a blaze, and eventually a roaring fire that no one can ignore. That's when you can share, when it's undeniable, when it's too big and too bright for anyone to put out. So in 2025, make it your mission to protect your goals. Guard them like the precious treasures they are. Work in silence. Let your success do the talking. And remember that the most extraordinary achievements often begin in the quietest moments. Money moves in silence. Whether you're planning an investment, a new job, or a side hustle, keep your financial strategies private. Sharing too much can invite unnecessary scrutiny or competition. Let your results be your testimony. Let's talk about financial plans. Money is one of those topics that stirs up emotions, opinions, and sometimes even envy. When you share your financial goals or strategies too openly, you expose yourself to all of that and more. Imagine you're planning to invest in something big, maybe a new business venture or a lucrative stock option. You start sharing this with friends or colleagues, and suddenly you're met with skepticism. "Are you sure that's a good idea?" they ask. Or worse, "I heard someone else tried that and lost everything now." You're second-guessing your own decisions, not because you've done the research and found a flaw, but because someone else planted a seed of doubt. Your financial moves don't need an audience. The reality is, not everyone who hears about your plans has your best interest at heart. Some people will silently root for your failure, while others might take your ideas and try to beat you to the punch. Even those who genuinely care about you might unintentionally discourage you because of their own fears or limited perspective. They don't mean harm, but their words can still hold you back. Keeping your financial plans private also protects you from unnecessary scrutiny. When people know about your financial goals, they start to watch your every move. They'll question your spending habits, your choices, and even your lifestyle. Suddenly, you find yourself defending why you bought a new car or explaining why you decided to skip a vacation. But here's the thing, your financial journey is yours alone. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to allocate your resources. There's another reason to keep your financial plans to yourself. It keeps the pressure off. When you announce a big financial goal, like saving a certain amount or hitting a specific investment milestone, you create expectations. People start to check in. How's that goal coming along, they ask. And if you're not on track, you feel the weight of their disappointment, even if it's unspoken. But when you keep those goals private, you free yourself from that pressure. You can adjust your plans, pivot, or even fail without the added burden of an audience. And let's not forget the value of surprising people. There's a certain power in moving in silence and letting your results speak for themselves. Imagine this: instead of telling everyone about your plan to buy your dream home, you quietly save, invest, and work toward that goal. One day you invite your closest friends and family over, and they're stunned to see you've accomplished something incredible. That moment, when your success speaks louder than any words ever could, is priceless. Protecting your financial plans also keeps you focused. When you're not busy explaining or defending your goals, you can put all your energy into achieving them. You can stay on track without the distractions of outside opinions or unnecessary conversations. Think of it like a high-stakes game of chess. You don't reveal your next move to your opponent, do you? No, you strategize in silence and strike when the time is right. And finally, keeping your financial plans private teaches you discipline. It's a reminder that not everything needs to be shared, that some things are better kept between you and your inner circle, or even just you. It's about building strength from within and trusting yourself to make the right decisions without seeking validation from others. Let me talk to you about something sacred: your plans. Your vision. That picture you see in your mind of the life you want. The goals you're striving for. The future you're building brick by brick. Now listen closely, because this is important. Your plans are not meant for everyone. Not everyone needs to know what you're up to, and let me tell you why. When you share your plans with the wrong people, you risk something precious. You risk letting their doubts, their fears, their insecurities creep into your vision. You see, not everyone is going to understand what you're trying to do. Not everyone has the capacity to dream as big as you. Some people are stuck in their own limited mindset, and when they hear about your plans, their first instinct isn't to support you, it's to question you. Are you sure you can do that? Don't you think that's a little too ambitious? Why don't you try something safer? Let me ask you this: how many times have you heard those words? How many times have people tried to project their own limitations onto you? And how many times have you let it shake your confidence, even just a little bit? That's why you need to protect your plans. Because the wrong words from the wrong people at the wrong time can plant seeds of doubt in your mind. And those seeds can grow into weeds that choke the life out of your dreams. Your plans are like a newborn baby. They're fragile. They're vulnerable. They need to be nurtured, protected, and cared for. You wouldn't hand a newborn to someone who doesn't know how to handle it, would you? No, you'd keep that baby close. You'd shield it from harm. That's how you need to treat your plans. They're in the early stages, and until they're strong enough to stand on their own, you need to guard them fiercely. Now, I'm not saying you should keep everything to yourself forever. There will come a time when your plans are ready to be shared, when they're strong enough to withstand criticism, doubt, and negativity. But until then, you need to be selective. You need to choose carefully who you let into that inner circle of yours. Let me tell you something about people. Some of them are like scaffolding. They're there to support you while you build. They lift you up, they keep you steady, and they help you reach new heights. But then there are others who are like termites. They'll chew away at the foundation of your dreams, and if you're not careful, they'll bring the whole thing crashing down. That's why you have to be discerning. Not everyone who claps for you is cheering for you. Not everyone who smiles in your face wants to see you succeed. And here's the thing. It's not always intentional. Sometimes, even the people who love you the most can hurt your plans without meaning to. Your family, your friends, they might think they're giving you good advice. But their advice is based on their fears, their experiences, their limitations. They might tell you to play it safe because they don't want to see you fail. But what they don't realize is that playing it safe is the fastest way to fail. Playing it safe is how dreams die. So what do? You protect your plans by keeping them close. You focus on executing, not explaining. Because at the end of the day, you don't owe anyone an explanation for why you're dreaming big. You don't need to justify your goals to people who aren't walking the same path as you. And let me tell you this, your plans need time to grow. They need time to develop. They need time to become something real. Think of a seed planted in the ground. When you first plant it, no one sees what's happening beneath the surface. It's hidden from view, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. That seed is working. It's growing roots. It's getting ready to break through the soil and reach for the sun. But if you dig it up too soon, if you expose it before it's ready, you'll kill it before it has a chance to bloom. That's what happens when you share your plans too early. You expose them to the elements before they're strong enough to survive. You let people poke and prod and criticize something that isn't fully formed yet. And in doing so, you risk losing the very thing you're working so hard to build. So, instead of sharing your plans, work on them in silence. Focus on the grind. Focus on the process. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Because when the time comes, when your plans are fully realized, when the results are undeniable, you won't need to explain yourself to anyone. Your success will do all the talking for you. And remember this, the most dangerous thing you can do is let someone else's opinion dictate your actions. Your plans are yours for a reason. They were given to you, not to anyone else. The vision you have for your life, the goals you've set, the dreams you're chasing, those are uniquely yours. And no one else can see them the way you do. No one else can feel them the way you do. No one else can bring them to life the way you can. So, stop looking for validation from people who don't understand your journey. Stop seeking approval from people who don't share your vision. You don't need their permission to dream big. You don't need their blessing to take risks. And you certainly don't need their input to create the life you want. Your plans are powerful. Your plans are precious. And if you protect them, nurture them, and stay committed to them, there's nothing in this world that can stop you from turning them into reality. Let me tell you something, your financial situation is your business. Nobody else's. It's not a conversation piece for casual discussions, and it's definitely not something you should throw out there for everyone to weigh in on. Money is one of the most sensitive and misunderstood aspects of life. People judge it, envy it, criticize it, and unfortunately sometimes try to take advantage of it. That's why you have to be careful. You have to be mindful of who you share your financial situation with and how much you share. Here's the truth. The moment people know about your money, whether you're doing well or struggling, they'll treat you differently. If you're thriving, suddenly everyone has an opinion on how you should spend it. Oh, you're making that much? You should invest here. Buy this. Help me with that. If you're struggling, they'll either look down on you or pity you, and neither of those reactions is good for your mindset. Your financial situation is a reflection of where you are in life at a specific moment, but it does not define you. You might be climbing, building, figuring it out, and that's okay. But the wrong people, when they know too much, can use that knowledge against you. Some people will see your struggles as an opportunity to take advantage of your vulnerability. Others will see your success as a reason to latch onto you, not because they care, but because they want a piece of what you've got. And let me tell you something else about money. It has a strange way of exposing people. It shows you who's really in your corner and who's just pretending to be. When you're up, everyone wants to be around. They're clapping for you, smiling in your face, but deep down, some of them are just waiting for you to stumble. And when you're down, those same people disappear like shadows in the night. You have to understand that money is a tool, not a trophy. It's not something you need to flaunt or explain. You don't owe anyone an update on your bank account. Your financial wins and losses are part of your journey, and sharing too much can open the door for unnecessary judgment, expectations, or exploitation. Think about this, how many people have shared their struggles, hoping for understanding, only to be met with judgment? How many people have shared their success only to become a target for envy or entitlement? You don't need that kind of energy in your life. Protecting your financial situation isn't about being secretive, it's about being wise. It's about knowing that not everyone has your best interests at heart. Even the people closest to you, friends, family, coworkers, might unintentionally say or do things that could hurt you financially. They might ask for money, assume you're doing fine and don't need help, or start treating you differently based on what they think you have or don't have. And let's be real, money has a way of making people feel entitled. When people know you're doing well, they start to expect things from you. They think you owe them something just because you've made it. But let me be clear, you don't owe anyone anything. You work for what you have. You sacrificed, you hustled, you earned it. And just because you're doing well doesn't mean you have to explain yourself to anyone. On the other hand, if you're struggling, sharing too much can invite unnecessary pity or judgment. And you don't need that. You don't need someone looking at you like you're less than, like your current situation defines your worth. Struggles are temporary. What you're going through right now is just a season, and seasons change. But the wrong people will try to make your struggle permanent by speaking doubt into your life. You have to guard your financial situation like you guard your peace of mind, because money is deeply tied to your emotions, your decisions, and your future. The way you manage it, the way you think about it, and the way you protect it will determine how far you go in life. And if you let too many people into that space, if you let their opinions cloud your judgment, you risk losing control of something that's meant to empower you. And listen, this isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about protecting your loved ones too. When you keep your financial situation private, you're not just shielding yourself from negativity, you're shielding your family, your future, and your dreams. Because at the end of the day, your finances are a means to an end. They're a way to provide, to build, to create the life you want. So don't feel pressured to explain your financial choices to people who haven't walked in your shoes. Don't let anyone guilt you into making decisions that don't align with your goals. And don't let anyone's opinions define how you see yourself. Whether you're building, thriving, or somewhere in between, your financial situation is your business, and it should stay that way. Stay focused on your goals. Stay disciplined. Keep building in silence. Because when the time comes, when you've built the life you've been dreaming of, you won't need to say a word. The results will speak for themselves. Let me tell you something about relationships. The people you choose to surround yourself with are the ones who will either elevate you or bring you down. You need to understand something powerful about this. Not everyone has the right to be in your personal space. Not everyone deserves to know the details of your relationships, your inner circle. Your relationships, whether with family, friends, or a partner, are yours and yours alone. The world doesn't need to know every little thing about what goes on behind closed doors. See, we live in a world where everyone's got an opinion, where everyone thinks they know what's best for you, what's best for your life, what's best for your relationships. People love to comment, judge, and throw in their 2 cents. They see a picture, a moment, and suddenly they think they understand the whole story. But what people don't see is what happens when the lights are off, when the cameras are down, when it's just you and the people who matter the most. What they don't see is the work that goes into building a real, meaningful relationship. Now, I'm not saying you should go through life alone. That's not what this is about. We all need people, we need support, we need love, we need that circle of people who truly have our back. But here's the truth, not everyone who comes into your life has the right intentions. Not everyone who smiles at you wants to see you win. Not everyone who's been there for the good times is going to stick around for the bad times. That's why you need to protect your relationships like the precious treasures they are. Don't let the wrong people into your personal life. Don't give them the right to dictate what happens in your relationships. There's power in keeping certain things close to the chest, in not allowing just anyone to weigh in on your love life or family life. The truth is, people can be cruel, and they can be manipulative. You'll have folks who pretend to be on your side, but deep down, they just want to see you fail. They want to see you struggle. And as soon as you start sharing too much with them, they'll use that against you. Think about it. How many times have you let someone into your relationship, shared a vulnerable moment, only to have it used against you later? It happens more than we care to admit. That's why moving forward, You need to guard your personal life like it's the most valuable thing you have, because it is. Relationships take work, and when you allow negativity or outside influence into that space, you're sabotaging something beautiful. You have to set boundaries. And I'm not talking about surface level boundaries. I'm talking about real emotional boundaries. When you're in a relationship, whether romantic or familiar, you don't owe the world an explanation. You don't need to explain your every move, your every decision. You don't need to tell every friend or relative every little detail. Why? Because they don't understand. They weren't there when you made that decision. They don't know the heart of the matter. And honestly, some of them don't have the capacity to understand. You see, when you're working on something real, something that's meaningful, you need to protect it from the noise. People love to put their opinions where they don't belong. And too many of us are guilty of listening to the wrong voices. We let someone who barely knows us get in our heads and make us second guess everything. We let people talk us out of what we know deep down is right for us. You don't need to share your struggles, your fights, your weaknesses with the whole world. You need to protect the sanctity of your relationships. Because here's the thing. The moment you let someone else into your relationship, especially someone who isn't part of it, they'll have an opinion. And their opinion might not be rooted in understanding. It might be rooted in envy, bitterness, or ignorance. People will say things like, you deserve better, or you shouldn't let them treat you like that, without knowing the full picture. They'll say things that sound good, but they're dangerous. They'll plant seeds of doubt, seeds of insecurity, that can destroy the very foundation of what you're building. But you don't need to share that with everyone. You need to share it with the people who matter, the people who know you, who care for you, who want to see you succeed. And that's it. There are people in your life who are toxic, people who are only there for their own benefit. They don't want to see you win. They're just waiting for you to fail so they can have something to talk about, something to gossip about. Don't give them that power. Don't give them the details they can twist into something that doesn't even resemble the truth. So, the next time someone tries to push their way into your personal business, when someone tries to make you doubt your relationship or your life choices, remember this, they're not in your shoes. They're not living your life. They don't feel what you feel. They don't know your heart. And because of that, they don't have the right to say anything about your relationships. Guard your personal life. Guard your relationships. And don't let anyone, no matter who they are, take that from you. You deserve to protect your peace, your love, your family, and your most trusted circles. Only those who truly have your best interests at heart should be allowed to speak into your life. Keep your relationships private and let them grow in peace. Let me tell you something, your mindset is everything. It's the one thing in this world that no one can take from you unless you let them. People can take your money. They can take your possessions. They can even take your time. But your mindset, that is the most valuable asset you will ever own. And the moment you let someone, anyone, mess with that mindset, you lose your power. You see, the world is full of distractions, full of people trying to drag you down. They'll tell you that you can't do it, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, that you don't have what it takes. They'll throw their negativity at you like it's confetti, hoping it sticks. And if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention, those words will start to settle in your mind. They'll start to plant seeds of doubt, and slowly you'll begin to believe them. But I'm here to tell you, don't let them. Don't let anyone have that kind of power over your thoughts. Your mind is a battlefield. You have to fight for it. You have to protect it. Because if you lose control of your mindset, you lose control of your life. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to start believing the false stories people try to tell you. It's easy to let the negativity of the world seep in, to let people convince you that you're not enough. But I'm telling you right now, you are enough. And don't you ever let anyone make you feel otherwise. But here's the truth. It's not just about fighting off the negativity. It's about protecting what you let into your mind in the first place. Your mind is a garden, and whatever you choose to plant will grow. So you have to be selective about what you water, about what you feed yourself. Stop feeding yourself lies, stop feeding yourself doubt, and start feeding yourself power. You have to be intentional about what you allow to take root in your mind, because that will dictate how you show up in the world. And let me tell you, not everyone has the same vision for your life as you do. Not everyone wants to see you win. There are people out there who will try to convince you to settle, to take the easy route, to play it safe. They'll tell you, just be happy with what you have. But what they don't realize is that you weren't born to settle. You weren't born to be average. You weren't born to play small. You have greatness inside of you. And if you're going to protect that, you have to guard your mindset like a lion guards its territory. Don't let anyone walk into your mental space and try to tell you what's possible for you. They don't know your struggles, your sacrifices, your dreams. They don't know what you've been through to get to this point. And they sure as hell don't know what you're capable of. When you start listening to those voices, when you start taking advice from people who've never walked your path, you start to lose sight of your own potential. You start to forget who you are, who you were made to be. So what do? You protect your mindset. You guard it with everything you've got. You don't let just anyone into your mental space. You have to shut out the naysayers, the people who want to bring you down, the ones who think they know better. You have to cut out the distractions and focus on the vision you have for your life. Because no one else is going to fight for that vision the way you will. No one else is going to care about your goals the way you do. But here's the thing, it's not just about blocking out the negative. It's about building your mindset, strengthening it every day. You have to fill your mind with things that empower you. You have to surround yourself with people who push you to be better, who challenge you, who make you think bigger. The people you spend time with will shape your mindset. And if you're constantly around people who are negative, who don't believe in what you're doing, then it's time to distance yourself. You've got to be strategic. Your mindset is the thing that will carry you through the toughest times. When the world is telling you to quit, when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, your mindset is what will keep you standing tall. It's what will get you through the days when it feels like everything is falling apart. So protect it, fight for it, build it,